So ji, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Let's talk about the important topics which are very, very critical for any operation managers. Starting from this topic we talk about the 10 operations decisions. So the whole book of operation management revolves around these 10 topics, starting from the product, designing of a product, quality of a product or process, location of your facility, layout design of your facility, human resources, very critical for the operations. So you see, human resources also part of the operations, and it used to be part of operations, and it is still part of operations. In what sense? In the sense that if you want any resource who is good at operations, then the operation manager is the one who will be interviewing that person, who will be finally selecting that person. This is very, very important. The human resources is part of operations. Supply chain is also part. So supply chain is a subset of operations. So if anyone would argue about it that the supply chain is ahead, no, it is not ahead. It is comes under the operations function actually. Inventory is a separate in that usually most of the company take the inventory into the supply chain. So you can also take that. Scheduling and maintenance is also part of supply chain, but you can also take it separately. So now we talk about strategy. What strategies we have? We have the differentiation strategy, we have the cost leadership strategy, and we have the response strategy. Okay? These three strategies we have. So when we talk about the innovative strategy, when we talk about the innovation, differentiation come. In the differentiation strategy, we have the innovative design, product line, broad product line. Broad product line is also differentiation. For example, if we talk about chocolate company, Hershey's, and name any good company of chocolate. Any Swiss company. Kit Kat, Snickers, Lindt is also a very good food. So you see, when we talk about the Lindt, Kit Kat and other, so they have a broad product line. So when you have a broad product line, you have the differentiation, because broad product line is a pretty challenging one. You need to focus on every SKU of yours, and you need to keep the inventory of that. It's very challenging one, but you go for it. A broad product line. After sales service is also part of the differentiation strategy. Like I talked about the Park Suzuki. Park Suzuki offers the after sales services, or the many big company. Nokia used to have a very good sales service. So this is also part of the differentiation. Experience, like dining experience, is also part of differentiation. There are multiple restaurants. If you have, I'm not fond of going to restaurants. If you are, then you might have come across many restaurants, especially in defense area, in the society area. There are many restaurants who are giving the different experience to the diners. Okay? So different experience is also part of the differentiation. Okay, अब आप देखें, you have four kinds in that. You have 4 kinds in that. Only in differentiation you have 4 kinds: experience, after sales, broad product line, and the last one is exactly, innovative design. Innovation must be there. Differentiation is all about innovation. Okay, let me repeat. The differentiation, we talked about the innovative design, the experience, or you may say yes, experience, and after sales service, and broad product. Okay? So innovative design, broad product line, experience, and after sales. So experience is also part of the after sales somehow. So you see, they are interrelated, but still they are very important. For example, your companies might only give the experience, will not be giving the after sales service. might not be having the broad product line, might not be having the innovative product design. So there is a possibility that one company is giving more than two things like innovative product design and experience as well. Okay? So this is all possible. Okay. So next is cost leadership. Your cost leadership, it is a difficult strategy. Why? Because whoever has a big sum of money, he can stand against you anytime, especially the multinational company. So it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. So cost leadership, low overhead. Overhead means the operations cost. The operations cost. So for the low overhead, you need to have the great monitoring and controlling. Remember, without monitoring and controlling, you can never. Especially in our country, yesterday my cousin was telling me that when I started my business, what happened, he was in the construction industry. He said, I ordered the 10 tons of steel for making the building. But what happened? The 5 tons was stolen, and only rest of the 5 tons was used for making the whole building. Now I'm very scared that building can fall anytime. You see? That is why I stopped. I never wanted to continue the business because of these things. How can I control this? Okay? It's very, very difficult. So over here you see, if you want to low overhead, you need to have very strict control. Siemens is a very huge company. Siemens was challenged by this, because especially it's a very challenging situation. For example, Imtiaz store is a very big store. So they have, on the most key positions, they have their own people. Abbasi, they are Abbasi actually. So most of the Abbasi are on the key positions. It is not good actually. It shows your weak control. Nepotism is required when you have weak control. So most of the family-owned business are reliant on this. कि ग्राई है कि नहीं है, गांव का है कि नहीं है, कोई रेफरेंस है कि नहीं है. क्यों? There is no such control. They cannot get to know the details without this. They want the spies all around. हाँ भाई, आज क्या खबर लाया? अच्छा वो ये कर रहा है, अच्छा इतनी तनख्वाह दे रहा है फिर भी चोरा रहा है, अच्छा अब देखो मैं क्या करता हूँ इसको. तो वो इसी पे डिपेंड कर रहा है. अब देयर आर टाइम्स व्हेन पीपल स्कोर अगेंस्ट ईच अदर. अच्छा इसने क्या, बच्चों बताता हूँ, मतलब सेठ का करीबी आदमी बताता हूँ. तो यू सी, तो यू डोंट फाइंड द गुड मेरिट. That is why the organizations of our country and many countries do not grow the way they should, because they are very scared. They have a fear of hiring the people who are from the outside. Especially in India, when we see Indian family-owned businesses, they have the few caste in that. You go to the internet and see if I'm wrong in any way. They have the few caste only. So the whole business is run by the few caste. This is very bad actually, because you are not giving chance to any other resource. Okay? Why? Because your controls are weak. Your controls are weak. When your controls are strong, you can let everyone come. Now, there is another way of looking at this, like because the societal norms are very bad, so they need some kind of relaxation so that they can work upon their own task. It's also a part, but still they need to have their good controls. The technology usage must be a good one, so that they are not reliant on the particular caste of the people. Okay, so this is what I think.
Sir,
after
Indian companies are still prospering despite that. तो मतलब इन सब के बावजूद भी कोई ना prosper कर रही है कि वो outside sources नहीं आने देगी. तो इसके बारे में आप क्या ये जरूरी होना चाहिए?
देखिए, प्रॉस्पर की डेफिनेशन है, इट इज़ सब्जेक्टिव. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, प्रॉस्पेरस टू यू मे नॉट बी अ रियल प्रॉस्पेरिटी. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, यू आर नॉट comparing apple to apple. The companies who started on the same year, having same product line, having same strategy, are way ahead of that company. So my point is, you need to see that was that only potential they were trying to exploit, or they had more potential. So I think they had more potential. But you see Imtiaz, now Imtiaz has 30 branches only in Pakistan. Imtiaz should have 30 branches way before. So the growth is slow actually. And the reasons are, I already told you. You go and just search it out. That's what I experienced. I found many Abbasis in their operations. Mahmood Abbasi, he was the whole soul of buying until 5 years back, until 6 years back. He was the only person. He was the Badshah of the whole Imtiaz. After some time, after a few years, they hired the people from outside. Now they have hired the new technology. Now they are on the right track. That is why they are on the 30 branches. So the mindset has to be changed. And in that you see the cost leadership made those companies who have the strategy of low cost, they must employ the state-of-the-art technology, the best technology, so that they have the better controls. So they are not reliant on the particular caste and the particular people. Effective capacity use is also a challenging point. Effective capacity use is a day-to-day process. You need to hire the supply chain manager, you need to hire the operation manager who will be visualizing the capacity use. This is very important. You see many people who are from Gujarat, specifically Bhori businessmen, they use the capacity at its best. They do not have a very huge restaurants. They have very small shops and they have many customers. Okay? So capacity utilization is very good. It need to be very perfectly done. Why? Because if your capacity is underutilized, you cannot have the cost leadership. Can never have. Okay? So you need to look at your capacity. You do not have to have the capacity increase so broadly that it is underutilized. When it is underutilized, your per unit cost of a product will be very much high. The inventory management is also a challenging part. Inventory management, since inventory is the current asset, and having the inventory is basically makes you cash restricted. You have less cash if you have more inventory, because your cash is invested in inventory, which is with you. So you need to keep the less quantity of inventory always, and for this you need to use the technology very well. Plus you need to audit, you need to regularly check it. So this is all about it. Walmart is the best example. Sophisticated distribution system they have, and most of the products over here you see they have the what is it called? I don't remember exactly the term. The term is, in that what happens, whatever order they have in the retail, instead of having it in warehouse, they directly send the product to the retail outlet. Okay? So this is how they reduce the inventory. And how it started? It started from the toilet rolls. Toilet rolls have a huge inventory, but it is not giving the particular percentage. The margin is very much less. So instead of having them in warehouse, in a huge warehouse, for that you have to pay a huge amount of rent. What they did, they directly processed the order to the retail outlet. Whenever the retail outlet require, they transfer the inventory over there. Cross-docking, exactly. Cross-docking. Thank you very much. Alida. Cross-docking. Cross-docking. You may write it down. Cross-docking. It's a very important term, and it started with the Walmart. And the reason was the tissue paper rolls, toilet rolls. Cross-docking. Cross-dock is whenever you actually in the cross-docking you do not transfer the product directly to the retail outlet. Instead, you offload, you sort, and then you move. So it is not directly. It is not directly. Alida, there's a little difference. At the cross-docking, the stock comes to the warehouse, but instead of keeping all the stock in the warehouse, they only sort it out. For example, 4 kinds of rolls. So they sort it out, and after sorting out, they send to the locations, different locations. and in a very short span of time. In fact, in an hour or less than an hour. Okay, so cost leadership is a very tricky part. It's not easy. You see, it's very, very difficult, and it requires you to. Most of our family-owned businesses in Pakistan, especially, they are cost leader. Okay, they are cost leaders, and it's very difficult thing because they do not have that much knowledge, information, capacity to create innovative products, broad product line, great experience, after sales services. So they go with the cost leadership. Most of them go with the cost leadership. Response is also a tricky part, and it requires you to be on toes. Especially HP is very much famous for their computer technology. HP is ahead of it in the flexibility because they have the flexible design. You can order as per your need. Reliability, FedEx absolutely positively on time. Reliability, they have more reliability. You see, most of the top companies, most of the strategies require a great technology, and it requires you to invest in a huge sum of money. It's chicken and egg situation. You need to have a great sum of money so that you can adopt these strategies. So basically, multinational company who have the big sum of money with them, they go for these strategies. Okay? Otherwise, cost leadership does not require you to have great technology. Okay? Because customer will be coming to you some or the other. For example, a small Kiryana store, he can also have the cost leadership or cost effectivity, you may say. The Kiryana store will be giving you a good prices, okay, and very near to your home, okay. So you see, how is it possible? It is possible because they have the less investment, and with the less investment they try to low overhead cost. They don't have the great facility, they don't have so many employees, okay. They work on a little margin, they work on the turnover basically, and that's how that business runs. Okay ji? I hope it's clear now. So I will try to give this one in your exam. आगे चलें. ये comparative advantage है through operations. This is the comparative advantage. जी. जी. पेपर में सिंपल आएगा कि what are the different types of strategies and give the examples of them in your own words, yeah, with your own experience. Do not copy these examples because नहीं, Starbucks आप देखना पड़ेगा Starbucks कहाँ फिट होता है. मैंने ये कहा what are the types of strategies, different types of strategies, and what are the examples of them. Again, in your own words या with your own experience, ऐसा कुछ कि आप कॉपी ना करें किताब का किसी भी सूरत. ठीक है? I want you to think about it so that you get to know. हाँ, वो दे सकते हैं, लेकिन बुक में ना हो. ठीक है? Okay, move ahead. Pizza we already talked about in the in the response specifically. आगे चलें. वहाँ जाए वहाँ. इसमें अब हम एक मिनट, आप इस पे क्लिक करें. क्लिक ऑन हियर, इन हियर. नीचे यहाँ पर क्लिक करें. अब आगे चलें. आगे आगे आगे. अब देखें, नाउ वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट आउटसोर्सिंग. मैंने आपको पहले बताया था आउटसोर्सिंग इज़ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ठीक है? आउटसोर्सिंग इज essential nowadays. I think Iqra University is one of the only university I have ever seen that is not outsourcing actually. In fact, they have outsourced their teachings to some extent, but they have not outsourced their services at all. For example, their janitorial services are of their own. ठीक है? All the janitorial services. The guard system, the security is outsourced. Yes. And that is, it is a partially outsourced actually. It is not outsourced because they have their number of electricians they have, and they usually manage all. the cleaning of the solar system is outsourced. One of my student asked me that I want this tender to clean the solar plates. Because they have a huge system. Anyway, नहीं, मैंने उसको गाइड किया था कि कौन कर रहा है, तो मैंने कहा था देख लो तुम. उसे ऑलरेडी माशाल्लाह ही हैज़ अ वेरी गुड बिजनेस एंड ही हैज़ अ बिग क्लाइंटेल, तो आई थिंक उसको कोई मसला नहीं था. And I recommend most of my time I used to tell him that focus on what you are doing and do at your best. You are studying and you want. He was in more than one businesses, so I requested him not to be indulged in multiple businesses because it will reduce your focus and decrease your productivity. So it's very important, and he was not good at studies at all. In fact, he was unable to take the classes timely. So I leverage him a lot, luckily or unluckily. So he passed through my course, but I think the knowledge level is very much less. If he wants to sustain his business, so he needs to learn. Again, you cannot be greedy. Businessmen can never be greedy, because in greed you cannot sustain your business. Most of the businesses are failed because of the greed. They want to be billionaire overnight. So what happens? They are bankrupt. One of my friend, when I was in the school, he tried the way I was telling. And what happened? In 2 years, the people were trying to find him. They wanted their money. Whatever the consequences, I cannot explain in the class. The whole family were deteriorated, and their social class was disturbed even. His father was doing the guard job. Can you imagine? And he was living next to me with a very luxurious house. What happened? Because of a business. He borrowed money from his very close relatives. In fact, from his own susar, and sunk. All the money was sunk. So it's very challenging point. Okay, whenever you start earning money, you need to be moderate in that, because overnight you cannot be billionaire. Anyway, it's a difficult point, because you see the people are there. हाँ भाई, बाकी सब तो देखो, all the people are having so much money. यार तुम्हारे पास कुछ पैसे नहीं, क्या कर रहा है तू यार?
सर ग्रीडीनेस भी तो ये लेकर आते हैं सर.
तो क्या करूं? ये कर, without seeing the consequences. देखिए, यही तो आपकी काबिलियत है कि आप consequences को देख सकें. अगर आप consequences को देख सकते हैं, इसका मतलब है, देखिए हमारे यहाँ प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि we cannot sustain our business. Many of our students, they start their business but they cannot sustain, and the sustainability require you to foresee the future. I think students cannot see. Most of the अच्छे होते हैं वो, मैं ये नहीं कह रहा, बहुत काबिल होते हैं, बहुत मेहनती होते हैं, but still they cannot see the future. आप इस देखें ना इस चीज़ को कि भाई क्या होने वाला है. आप शॉर्ट टर्म प्लानिंग करते हैं, तो शॉर्ट टर्म प्लानिंग से होता क्या है कि you cannot sustain in the longer term. और फिर आप, मेरा अपने दोस्त का बिजनेस, एक और तो यहाँ पढ़ा है भी उसने, he lost his business, और मुझे बता रहा था बड़े फ़ख्र से कि ये वो साहब नहीं थे. मैंने कहा हाँ, उनका पैसा भी डुबा दिया मैंने. तो कहने का मकसद ये कि दिस इज़ वेरी बैड. अब क्या होता है, ट्रस्ट चेक होता है, पीपल स्टॉप इन्वेस्टिंग इन अदर बिजनेस. नहीं, दैट पर्सन स्टॉप इन्वेस्टिंग इन एनी बिजनेस बिकॉज ऑफ यू. तो दिस इज़ वेरी बैड. तो मैं ये समझता हूँ कि यू नीड टू बी वेरी काम, and you need to be you need to well plan, and you need to see the cost of every decision. What is the cost while settling in abroad? बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट आते हैं, सर हमें बाहर जाना है. क्यों जाना है? तो खामोश हो जाते हैं, पता ही नहीं. अब भागना है भाई, भाग के क्या करेगा? यहीं भाग ले. नहीं, भागना है, भाग के यहाँ ये नहीं है वो नहीं है, वहाँ क्या है? अच्छा वहाँ क्या है? पता ही नहीं भाई, वहाँ क्या है हमें बताओ. नहीं, पता ही नहीं. तो मैंने उनको बताया कि द लाइफ द illegal immigrants are having in our country, they have the same life, you have the same life. Like the guards are staying on the same place and they sleep over there, They sit over there, and the space is like the jail, and you spend your at least 5 to 10 years over there. They do not know, but जाना है. तो भाई ये जब भी कुछ डिसीजन लें तो उसकी प्राइस को आप चेक करें ना, क्या प्राइस, क्या आपकी एज क्या हो जाएगी, आपकी जो एनर्जी है दैट वुड रिड्यूस विद द पैसेज ऑफ टाइम. अभी आज अगर अभी आप 25 साल के हैं तो उसके बाद 30 के होंगे, तो अपनी जो मोस्ट एनर्जी आप वेस्ट करके आएंगे आप, फिर क्या यहाँ पर क्या होगा, फिर आपको सेटल होने में 10 साल लगेंगे. तो आप बहुत वाइज देखें, लाइफ इज़ वेरी शॉर्ट, स्पेशली इन दिस टाइम यू नीड टू बी वेरी कैलकुलेटेड. Previously, the people used to have the life expectancy was above 65. Now it is around 50 in Pakistan especially, and it is keep reducing with the passage of years, with the passage of time. तो मैं ये समझता हूँ कि you guys, especially you people, you need to be very calculated and do not take any decision which has the wrong consequences, bad consequences. Okay, outsourcing we were talking about. So outsourcing is transferring activities that have traditionally been internal to external suppliers. Traditionally it was being done by you, but you want to transfer to other party. External means external. External does not mean it is the group of companies. याद रखिए. And that is something else. That is something else. That is basically it is called vertical integration. That is called vertical integration. In the technical term, vertical integration is that in which you become your own supplier. You become your, because you own the company who was supplying to you. Vertical integration is when you become your own distributor, when you become your own retailer. It is also vertical integration. So I am not talking about this. I am talking about the outsourcing, in that the external party is there. External party. Any company can be. Okay. Move ahead. Isko move. I want to see this. Yes. Operation strategy of two drug companies. नहीं आगे चलें. ये तो differentiation है. ये भी अच्छा है. ये इसको पढ़ लेगा. ये बहुत अच्छा है. चार्ट दिया हुआ है.
पेपर में आया क्या?
भाई ये तो मैं आपको नहीं बता सकता इस तरीके से. अच्छा आगे तो चलें. आ सकता है. आगे. ये देखिए. एक मिनट. अच्छा अब आप देखें कि देयर आर एडवांटेजेस एज वेल एज डिसएडवांटेजेस. ये बात याद रखिएगा. इसको थोड़ा वो करें, मैक्सिमाइज. नहीं हाँ, और करें, और हो सकता है. नहीं. अच्छा जी, अब देखें इसमें क्रिटिकल क्या है. क्रिटिकल इज़ दैट यू हैव द डिसएडवांटेज एज वेल, बिकॉज व्हेन यू आउटसोर्स यू आर डिपेंडेंट ऑन द एक्सटर्नल सप्लायर, एंड इफ एनीथिंग इज misused or wrongly perceived by the supplier. For example, Vital Tea, you remember, Vital Tea was the distributor of Unilever, Lipton and other labels. Now they have their own brand. They are the competitor to the principal of their. So it's quite challenging. Cost saving is one of the advantage. There is always cost saving. Why? Because there is no capital investment. You are just giving per month payment or per year payment as per the contract. You do not have to invest on the machinery, take other resources. So increased disadvantage. What is the disadvantage? Increased logistics and inventory cost, because you need to keep the inventory so that you fulfill the customer need, as well as you need to move the inventory from one place to another place. Because the finished good which is ready by the supplier, you need to bring it in so that you can package or other way. ठीक है. तो how the companies behave, they have their packaging factory close to the supplier. Like Fateh Ali Chemical is in site area, so if the Unilever wants to decrease the logistic cost, they start packaging very close to the Fateh Ali Chemicals, which is at site. So that is also possible. But still there is the logistic cost, and they need to keep the inventory because they want to package as much as they want. And when they start packaging, there's a chance of there are other possibility, so they don't want to package all of the goods. So they keep the inventory in their go down, and they start packaging as per their need. So they need to keep the inventory. Because your supplier will never keep the inventory. Finished good inventory, they will not keep. ये बात याद रखिएगा. हाँ, distributor can keep the inventory for you, but the supplier will not keep the inventory. They will be producing as much as you require. Gaining outside expertise that comes with specialization. ठीक है, this is the advantage. That you are producing the goods, you are getting ये Apple, it happens with the mobile phone or technological companies. Okay, that you do not have the expertise in that. So you get the LCD from other companies. Like I came to know that MI phone or the Xiaomi phone, they have the camera from the Samsung. They are getting the camera from the Samsung. So you see, gaining outside expertise that comes with specialization. So they get it like Apple. Apple is also working like that. I cannot explicitly tell you, but they take the technology from other companies as well. And disadvantage can be loss of control, quality delivery, because since you do not have the expertise, so you do not have that much control, because you are dependent on them. So, and it is very difficult for you to check the quality of their output. You can check the functionality of the output, but you cannot check the lasting of the output. Like what happened with the Samsung Note mobile, it blasted. Why it was blasted? Because of this reason. Because they were unable to, they lost the control. Since they did not have the expertise to check. And the same thing happened with the automobile company. They do not have the expertise to check the product for the longer period of time. For example, the company who manufacture the football, they check it for the football stadium, for the World Cup level. They check the pressure, they hit it in a different manner. So they have the capability. But the companies who do not have the expertise of the supplies, they can never check it the way it should. They check it, but not the way. If it is working, they say, it's okay, fine, go for it. But what happens? After some time, it is of no use. What happened? I got the Chinese LCD. My original LCD was broken by these marshals. So I got a new one, and I think in few weeks it was blank. When I take that LCD to the supplier, he said, "Sir, it's gone." And I go, "What is this?" I said, "This is what life is." तो मैंने कहा फिर तो कहना अच्छा मैं एक काम करता हूँ, I will give you mine. और उसने दी. मैंने कहा पैसे बताओ. अच्छा वो कह रहा है कि देखिए डैमेज है, इसमें जो है एक चांद ग्रेन हो रहा है ये तो इफ़ यू कैन जो है ना वो मून इक्लिप्स है इसमें, आप देखें यहाँ पर एक जो ना ब्लैक स्पॉट है, इफ़ यू कैन मैनेज देन. मैंने कहा सही है तो दो. आई एम स्टिल यूजिंग विद द मून इक्लिप्स स्ट्रीम एंड आई आस्क्ड हिम भाई बता दो पैसे, तो उसने बताया नहीं, एंड इट इज़ बर्डन टू मी क्योंकि मैं फ्री में यूज़ कर रहा हूँ. एनीवे उसने अपनी दे दी थी. तो क्या मतलब कि द टेक्नोलॉजिकल प्रोडक्ट्स विच आर कमिंग टू द मार्केट, नोबडी इज़ चेकिंग इट्स लाइफ जो है ना उसकी चेक तब होती है जब आपकी एक्सपर्टीज़ हो उस पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट में. यू कैन ओनली चेक द फंक्शनलिटी ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट. चल रही है ठीक है, ऐसा नहीं होता. उसके अंदर कौन कौन से इंग्रेडिएंट्स लगे हुए हैं, कौन कौन सी उसमें डिवाइसेस लगी हुई हैं, यू गो इनटू द डिटेल्स एंड चेक इट. तो ये बात बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट है. इंप्रूविंग ऑपरेशन एंड सर्विसेज. एडवांटेजेस क्या हैं? योर ऑपरेशन एंड सर्विसेज आर बेटर. ठीक है, सर्विसेज इन टर्म्स यू प्रोवाइड द प्रोडक्ट टाइमली. दिस इज़ अ ग्रेट सर्विस. योर ऑपरेशंस आर बेटर बिकॉज यू फोकस ऑन द फ्यू ऑपरेशंस यू आर वर्किंग. डिसएडवांटेज क्या है? पोटेंशियल क्रिएशन ऑफ फ्यूचर कंपटीशन, जो मैंने आपको बताया ये तो है अपनी जगह, बिकॉज यू डेवलप द सप्लायर एंड द सप्लायर कैन बी अनदर कंपनी विच कैन स्टार्ट कम्पीटिंग यू. ठीक है, ये भाइयों में भी हो जाता है. वैसे दो भाई सही भाइयों में, दोस्तों में जब कारोबार स्टार्ट करते हैं. अच्छा एक बात मैं आपको बताऊं, ये वर्ड ऑफ विजडम में आप काउंट करिएगा. अदर साहब तवज्जो चाहिए, वर्ड ऑफ विजडम में काउंट करिए. वो जवाब बता रहा हूँ कि बिज़नेस में याद रखें, बिज़नेस जब भी करें लाइफ में, तो बिज़नेस में या तो अकेले करें या उसके साथ करें जिसका तकवा आपका और उसका बराबर हो. ये अहम बात बता रहा हूँ, ये कुरान के अल्फाज हैं. इफ़ यू हैव द सेम पाइटी देन यू कैन गो फॉर इट, अदरवाइज नेवर. होता क्या आगे जाके? होता ये है कि आफ्टर सम टाइम व्हेन यू स्टार्ट अर्निंग उसकी डायरेक्शन ऐसे चली जाती है और आप ऐसे चल रहे होते हैं, तो इवेंचुअली बिजनेस जो है ना वो बढ़ता नहीं है और मसाइल का शिकार हो जाता है। तो ऑलवेज गो अलोन, इफ़ यू कैन नॉट then try to be alone as quickly as possible. For example, start with someone with the commitment that we will not be working for long. In 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, we will have different, we will expand business. ऐसा आप उसको बताना है आपको, we will expand our own business. I will taking the I will bring more customers myself and you will get yourself. And obviously you will inherit in your generation and I will inherit in my own generation, so that everything is fair and square. So this is the way. Otherwise never go with the partnership. ये आपको बहुत काम की बता रहा हूँ, हमने देखा है और कुरान में भी लिखा है कि वो वाक़या है उसमें, कुरान में आप देखें तो वो आता है एक भाई, वो कहता है जी हमारे पास 100 दुम्बियाँ हैं, we have 100 sheep and my brother is saying we have 100 sheep and I am left with the one only. He has given only me one sheep. The rest of the 99 sheep with him. Now he is looking for that only sheep as well. You see, tell me what I could do. दाऊद अलैहिस्सलाम से पूछा तो उन्होंने कहा अच्छा ये क्या माजरा है? उन्होंने कहा कि शराकत में, कारोबार में मसला तो है कि अगर आपका तकवा बराबर ना हो तो आप कारोबार नहीं कर सकते। तो ये साफ साफ बताया गया है कि आप यही होगा आपके साथ, आखिर में फिर आप भी एक दुम्बी जो होगी वो भी आपके साथ जारी होगी। तो शरीफ आदमी था, सही था। तो कहने का मकसद ये है कि अच्छा कारोबार में शराफत बहुत चलती है, याद रखिएगा ये बात गलत है कि चीटर होना चाहिए तो कारोबार, चीटर और कारोबार देयर इज़ नो लिंक, ये बात याद रखिए। ये एक बार ना तू फंटर है, अभी तू कारोबार कर, फंटर कोई कारोबार नहीं करता। फंटर क्या करे, 1 साल 2 साल 3 साल बाद उसको लोग लात मारेंगे, तो निकल भाई कौन है ये। जो अच्छा होता है, जो सिंसियर होता है, जो फेयर होता है, उसके साथ लोग कारोबार याद रखिएगा। और जितनी भी कास्ट हैं दुनिया में, चाहे वो यहूदी हैं, चाहे वो गुजराती हैं, चाहे वो मेमन हैं, दुनिया में जो भी कास्ट कर रही हैं वो इसी पे कर रही हैं, फेयर एंड स्क्वायर। एक दफ़ा एक साहब आए वो बाहर से, तो उन्होंने कहा कि आई वांट अ प्योर मिल्क। तो वो डरते डरते उन साहब ने दिया कि भाई ये, तो उन्होंने कहा ये क्या है? उन्होंने कहा ये दूध है जो हमारे मिलता है, जो पाकिस्तान में मिलता है। तो उन्होंने कहा मुझे तो बड़ी तकलीफ़ हो रही है, मैं तो ऐसा दूध ही नहीं पीता, ये कैसा दूध है? तो उन्होंने कहा कि आपको पता है, वो ही वॉज अ नॉन मुस्लिम, वॉज टेलिंग कि आपको पता है कि कारोबार असल जो होता है वो सच्चाई पे होता है। आपके मुल्क में प्योर दूध की बहुत डिमांड होगी अगर आप स्टार्ट करें, कोई भी स्टार्ट करें, और आप ईमानदारी से करें और बिज़नेस चलता है। तो वो साहब सर झुकाए खड़े होगा, उन्होंने कहा ये हमारे पैगंबर यही बात करते थे, आज ये हमें नसीहत कर रहा है और हमारे पास नहीं। कहने का मकसद ये कि हकीकत आज से 1400 साल पहले भी थी, आज तक यही हकीकत है। एनीवे थोड़ी बात डाइग्रेस कर गई, लेकिन वो वर्ड ऑफ विजडम आखिरी क्लास है तो मैंने कहा बता दूँ आपको।
सर ऐसा होता
है। अच्छा जी, मेंटेनिंग अ फोकस ऑन कोर कॉम्पिटेंसी। कोर कॉम्पिटेंसी पे फोकस करते हैं आप। कोर कॉम्पिटेंसी क्या होती है? कोर कॉम्पिटेंसी ने पहले डिस्कस किया बहुत डिटेल में। कोर कॉम्पिटेंसी वो है जिससे जो आपका कॉम्पेरेटिव एडवांटेज है, जो आपकी यूएसपी है, यूनिक सेलिंग पॉइंट है, वो कोर कॉम्पिटेंसी है। तो आपके पास जब आपको वक्त मिलता है तो क्या करते हैं आप? कोर कॉम्पिटेंसी पे। इसीलिए मैं कहता हूँ मोस्ट ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स से कि डू नॉट स्टडी इन दी समर सेमेस्टर। समर सेमेस्टर इज़ टू बिल्ड योर ओन कोर कॉम्पिटेंसी। हमारे स्टूडेंट क्या करते हैं? रेस में एक रेस है, पहले तेरी डिग्री पहले मेरी डिग्री। ये रेस का इल्म से, नौकरी से, रिजल्ट से कोई ताल्लुक़ नहीं है। आप अपनी कॉम्पिटेंसी तो क्रिएट करें। क्या है कॉम्पिटेंसी? अगर मैं आप सब में से किसी को बिठा दूँ ज़रा पूछूं भाई आपको क्यों हायर करें, आपका जवाब नहीं होगा। तो आप जो भी जवाब देंगे मैं कहूँगा इनको क्यों हायर नहीं कर लें, इनको क्यों नहीं कर लें, आपको क्यों करें, जवाब नहीं। तो आपको यही नहीं पता कि आपको क्यों हायर कर लें, तो आपको कोई क्यों हायर करे, सवाल मेरा ये आपसे। तो व्हेन यू स्टार्ट फोकसिंग, लुकिंग योर इनर सेल्फ, रिफ्लेक्टिंग ऑन योर ओन स्किल सेट, तो फिर आप बिल्ड करते हैं अपने आप। फिर आप कहते हैं जी ठीक है, मैं जो ना वो सप्लाई चेन बिल्ड करूँगा अपना, मैं मार्केटिंग में, मैं HR में करूँगी, मैं मार्केटिंग में करूँगी, जो भी आपका वजन में। और उसमें फिर आप स्पेशलाइज देखते हैं कि क्या क्या करा जा सकता है। आप मार्केटिंग क्लब का पार्ट बनते हैं। आप जो लोग मार्केटिंग में टॉप पे हैं, आप उनको लिंक्डइन पे ऐड करते हैं। आप एक सर्किल का पार्ट बनते हैं एंड यू सी दैट हु आर द गुरुज ऑफ मार्केटिंग, हु आर द गुरुज ऑफ सप्लाई चेन, व्हाट आर देयर क्रेडेंशियल्स एंड यू ट्राई टू एक्वायर दैम। लेकिन ऐसा यहाँ नहीं होता। तो ये इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट फोकस ऑन योर कोर कॉम्पिटेंसी। तो कंपनी में भी ऐसे होता है। इससे होता क्या है कि एम्प्लॉयज़ जो है ना वो थोड़े से डिस्टर्ब होते हैं, बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली आपकी अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट होती है, डाउन साइजिंग होती है, बिकॉज यू व्हेन यू आउटसोर्स यू हैव टू डाउन साइज। तो थोड़ा सा वो नेगेटिवली होता है। एक्सेसिंग आउटसाइड टेक्नोलॉजी रिस्क मे नॉट मैनिफेस्ट देमसेल्फ फॉर ईयर्स। when you can easily access the outside technology which is not available। जैसे हमने बात करी थी एयरबस और बोइंग की, दे आर आउटसोर्सिंग फ्रॉम दी टेक्नोलॉजी आउटसाइड, यूरोपियन टेक्नोलॉजी और जापानीज टेक्नोलॉजी, कोरियन टेक्नोलॉजी दे आर एक्वायरिंग। सो रिस्क क्या है कि जो रिस्क है वो आपको काफ़ी सालों तक पता नहीं चलेगा, बिकॉज यू विल बी हाईली डिपेंडेंट ऑन दैम और आपकी इम्प्रूवमेंट भी नहीं आती। तो उसमें ये चैलेंज तो है, लेकिन आपके पास ये बहुत बड़ी फैसिलिटी है कि यू कैन ईजिली एक्सेस टेक्नोलॉजी फ्रॉम आउटसाइड। ठीक है, तो ये भी इम्पॉर्टेंट है। आगे चलें। ब्रेक तो 4:30 है ना? ओके, लेट्स टेक अ ब्रेक।